Welcome, mortal souls, to Strange Darkness Radio. Within the echoes of our host's haunting voices, terror weaves through the airwaves like a malevolent symphony. I am Benson, your spectral guide, leading you into the uncharted realms of the macabre. Brace yourself for a descent into a paranormal abyss with the host of Strange Darkness Radio as they traverse through tales that linger in the shadows. Spectral apparitions, haunted domains, cryptids, and otherworldly encounters. Embrace the darkness, extinguish the lights, and steel your nerves for a bone-chilling night into the heart of the unknown. It's time for Strange Darkness Radio.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
I love that. Anyways, welcome back to Strange Darkness Radio. I'm your host, Bobby Washington, along with Amy Tydeman and Vanessa Scaduto. Ladies, welcome.
Hello.
How are you guys?
What's up?
Yeah, how are you guys doing?
I mean,
Too
great.
shabby. How are you, Bobby?
I'm doing fantastic. Still getting my wits about me when it comes to the cold or flu or pneumonia, whatever I had that seems to never go away. So if I sound a little bassier, people, I'm not taking steroids. It's just, congestion. But anyway, so Vanessa, what's been happening in your whole realm of the paranormal and UFOs? Any new sightings or anything?
Yeah, actually, we did. That's so funny that you said that. One of our people from our group just posted some videos they saw last night.
Oh, nice.
You know, I mean, there's fireworks, there's rainstorms coming, in Texas. So a lot of those people are housed in Texas. So there was a bunch of stuff going on yesterday. So I'm not surprised, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amy, what about you? Any drawers opening or
Nothing
closets?
has happened since I've put a surveillance camera there. So I'm starting to wonder if I know, I remember Vanessa had told me in private what she thought it was. But now I'm wondering if it was like a specific person that used to do that.
Oh, you mean what Bobby said, perhaps?
That person is no longer around the house, and all of a sudden I don't have drawers opening.
I told you.
I know we can talk about that later, but
yeah. As long as we know it's not paranormal. So
no, wait, what was Vanessa gonna say?
Well, if that person left and something left with it.
That could be, but
maybe.
I doubt it.
Yeah, maybe that
doubt
person
some people have poltergeists attached to them if they don't go through their energy and they don't realize they're creating them, whether they're
That's very true.
When emotions are involved, it all depends. I mean, the scenario could be so many things probably, but
yes.
Yeah. I
think I was right.
Nothing has happened for a while, so we'll see. I was kind of hoping it was.
She said we'll see. It's been like 4 months or something.
I know,
Amy, you were hoping it was paranormal.
Of course, I don't want anything paranormal, but another part of me was kind of like, oh, that's kind of exciting.
I wanted the footages. I wanted the footages for the YouTube channel.
And then I don't really want it.
Yeah.
So. But,
because sometimes you don't know what you're welcoming, and it all depends, how comfortable you are with, some other energy sharing your space.
I mean, if all they wanted to do was go through my drawer, I could handle that. But anything else is no, not allowed.
They were rustling, so
I still think it's creepy either way.
It have to be human hands.
It is.
But anyways, people definitely go and actually check out our YouTube channel. It's really growing. We really have some wild things on there, so definitely go and check it out. All right, it's time to get into our guest tonight. We have a very special guest who's been on the show before. She's an amazing individual, and let's introduce her to Benson. Here we go.
You are now entering Strange Darkness Radio, where energy moves unseen and intuition speaks louder than words. This week, we welcome back a radiant force of healing and light, Jessica Zenteno, a wife, mother, intuitive, and healer. Jessica is the founder of Elevated Goddess and New Age Holistic Wellness, where she fuses Reiki, energy work, and spiritual coaching into a practice that transforms lives from the inside out. From a young age, Jessica could sense what others could not: messages, vibrations, and truths from beyond the physical. Over the years, she learned not just to live with these visions, but to harness them. With a background in nursing and continued studies in chiropractic care, Jessica blends the clinical with the cosmic, crafting a multidisciplinary approach that incorporates integrative medicine, psychology, nutrition, and somatic wellness. Her mission is clear: to awaken the body, mind, and spirit to its own healing power. Whether she's holding space in her shop, working hands-on with clients, or guiding them through ancestral release and soul renewal, Jessica walks in truth, compassion, and deep purpose. Tonight she returns to share her journey from early childhood awakenings to her powerful work as a psychic, intuitive, and holistic healer. She'll open up about how she receives and interprets messages from the other side, and what it really feels like to walk through this world as a sensitive. So breathe in and let go. The veil has thinned, and Jessica Zenteno is here to guide us through the stillness into the healing light beyond.
Welcome, Jess. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Benson, for the phenomenal and Vanessa and Amy for your presence and your time, for holding space. My goodness. I'm just like, my jaw dropped. Like, holy told.
That's all you.
Yeah, I want Benson to do my eulogy, like he's
Oh, I know. Me
In all
too.
honesty, just have him to just lay out the novelty of my life.
Right.
Honestly, like I said, I'm just really grateful for the time and space, and to really awaken the collective with the message that I bring today, as well as the journey that I've had since I last been on the show.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely can't wait to get into that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what are all the new changes? Because I know since we last talked, which is, I think it was in 2023, October, if I have it right, somewhere around that time. And you had not had a shop at the time, but now you're back. And so I see you manifesting a lot of things that you talked about on the show that are now come to fruition. So yeah, let us know what's happening with all that.
Yeah, thank you for taking us down a little bit, memory lane, and just recapping on everything that's happened. And it was around that time, COVID still, Collective was feeling shaky about investing in services, outside of their typical normal ones. And so that's when I had paused, and I had mentioned to you and Amy, I was going back to school. Well, school's just about done. And I wanted to go back to school to just elevate my education in spirituality, but mainly focusing on those courses that I needed to transfer over into the Doctor of Chiropractic program. So I'm doing that, and I should be applying into the program next spring.
Nice.
If I choose to go that route, because guys, since coming back into seeing clients, I'm having an amazing time, and there's so much work to be done out in the community still. So we'll see what comes forth from everything. But it's been an honor to really live out what I said I wanted to since the last time I was on the show. And that's the power of the law of attraction, manifestation, spirituality, emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence. And if we implement that, and where it can lead us, and how we can truly live the life that we want to by doing that. So I'm really excited to dive deep.
Yeah, before the ladies start hitting you with questions, can you just share with our new audience a little bit of your journey on how you got to have these abilities?
Yeah, sure. So for those of you that, do not know me, my name is Jess Zenteno. And so since I was a child, I've always had a really innate calling for tapping into what I talked to on the last show, which was my clair senses. Lately, clair kinesis, specifically with being in tune and in touch with the beyond, and the death and dying aspect of spirituality. So really a multitude of things led me to where I am, but it was knowing that I had those gifts since I was a child and seeing how I could make a difference in the realm of work that I was doing already, which was nursing, but I didn't really vibe with the traditional way, allopathic way of healing. And I think that I had touched base with you guys on the elements that I focused on, which was holistic mind and body and spirit. And so in 22, right before I talked to you guys, I closed my shop. I expanded my family, and I wanted to really just take some time to reset. I had seen over 1,000 clients from 2020 to 2022, and I was a little burnt out, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
So I needed to recalibrate. I needed to recollect myself, pivot the business. And so here I am 2 years later, wrapping up school for my own personal excuse me, wisdom and growth. And I thought to myself, something's missing. And it was being with my clients, being here in a space that I had been looking for quite some time, but I just hadn't come across it. Mama Santi's house, which is here in Riverside, had posted that she had some available space to rent. And it wasn't necessarily moving space that was in my mindset. It was collaborating with like-minded spiritual beings. And Mama Santi's really known in the Inland Empire to really tap in with her clients on a spiritual quantum level. So that's where it's led me now. And I'm really happy to be here in a space that's welcoming and paranormal as ever. And that was one of my biggest things, was working with energy that was real, that was raw, that was authentic, that wasn't just, oh, I'm spiritual, or because I had worked with people like that and I'm tapped in and I do these things. And it's like, no, are you really tapped in?
Yeah.
And Mama Santi, her house is just the magical place. It holds such an immense energy.
I don't know her from Adam, but it sounds like a voodoo priestess. But anyways, I know she's like that. But give us a little bit of her story, just because that name is just so incredible. I love it.
It is. So I am still learning Mama Santi's journey. She has a phenomenal website, mamasanti.com, Mama Santi's house. And there you can learn about how she specifically focuses on shamanic, quantum, Reiki, massage, really tuning into spirits, the beyond, and really tapping in for her clients on a more spiritual level. Before I got started with working on clients, I had told her, Mama Santi, I want to be reattuned. And in Reiki, that means that we're going to do a full cleanse and get you reattuned to see clients, because it had been some time.
Okay.
You guys, when I saw her, within the first week, my life immediately changed. Okay. And I'm talking in the sense of movement with goals, aspirations, business, money, because I had really removed a lot of blocks in abundance and lack, scarcity mindset, because that's what we do in Reiki. We help assist and remove those blocks. But her energy was next level. It had something that I had never experienced before. Mm-hmm. And that session was absolutely life-changing, phenomenal. There's so many things that you can feel within Reiki, so many degrees of healing experience. But for me, it was literally, I left my body for a period of time, and I was able to really assist myself in healing all the things that have been hindering me. And for me, what does that look like as a practitioner? Self-sabotage, self-limiting beliefs, false illusions, timelines, mental constraints, physical illness that I would create for myself because I was into this victimization of if I'm sick, then I can rest, but no, rest is nurturing, rest is healing. So there was a lot of blocks that I had to remove so that I can learn and reprogram my subconscious to lead me where I am right now. So her work is, to say the least, phenomenal. She's a wonderful shamanic, because her sessions hold different chanting, different crystal healing, different oils, different sages, incense. So it's such a great experience to really be in the space where you're so vulnerable. You can just let loose and release, and experience the quantum, like literally upgrading within your cells. I know that sounds crazy, but that's legit what it was.
No, what it sounds like, not to interrupt you, but it sounds like not only are you doing a lot of work on other people, you did a lot of work on yourself to get to this stage to really understand what was happening, with your inner self. And that a lot of times has a lot to do with how you present yourself to people and the energy and the people that you pull to you also. So to me, that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. I was kind of curious, Jess. So so it sounds like she is like a mentor as far as people, and provides guidance as far as people that have abilities, healing and intuitive abilities. So you said since seeing her, you have gone up. You feel like you've really increased your your skills and abilities doing that. So is that like the first time that you've ever had like a mentor or teacher in doing what you do?
Thank you for asking, Amy. That's such a great question. And, Mama Santi, I want to point out, has a philosophy that if you heal yourself, you heal the world. And that's exactly what happened. I was able to upgrade and up-level myself to continue what I'm doing. And initially, I stepped into the house more on a collaborative aspect, to collaborate, bring more clientele, grow. But little did I know she was going to be that mentor that I hadn't had in over a decade.
Wow.
Because prior to her, and I talked about her in the last episode, Alex Stevens, who actually has a very successful psychic shop and spiritual shop here in Riverside as well, was my mentor prior. And not that I stopped working with her, it's just sometimes you have to expand that network, that guidance, that mentorship. And Mama Santi offers a different realm of work, more shamanic, quantum, cellular level work. And so, yes, I definitely feel that where I'm at now is where I'm supposed to be because of that further mentorship she will give me. And it's literally been that. We're hosting a workshop coming up this month on the 18th together, releasing blockages. It's called Reset and Realign, because it is technically Mercury retrograde on that day. Kind of scares a lot of people when you hear that, or it's just kind of been known in social media just around that. Well, Mercury retrograde, what does that mean? That means that it's time to reset, really refocus, recenter before the fall. So I know I kind of left tangent on what you had asked me, Amy, but yes, lots of mentorship with her, guidance. I really look forward to continuing collaborating with her, and see where it leads me, see where I go from here, and who else may jump on and become on board with the other practitioners here, or just be a mentor and leader too.
Mm. Now, throughout having these new people come into your lives, do you have a spiritual guide in this process along the way?
Oh, I love that. That's deep. I do. I have various. I feel that I have 4. One of them, I know it is a older man. And then one of them is my sister. And I don't know if you were literally asking me if those were my guides. I literally have a spirit team behind me that will tell me this place is for you. These people are aligned with you. It isn't. It is. And they were there the day of the attunement. They were absolutely there. They were saying, we're here. We see you. You're safe. There's nothing and no one and nothing that can be done to harm you or lead you astray, because that's something that is always a stigma within spiritual work or psychic work that you're going to be led astray or that there's malicious thing. This is not the energy work that we promote, that I do even. It is very tailored to healing your mind, body, and spirit. And so, yes, my spirit team led me here. I had known of Mama Santi's house for about 5 years now. Why I never came in sooner, I couldn't tell you. I'm a big believer of divine timing. It just wasn't time yet. And I'm here now. And since I've stepped in, it's just been phenomenally abundant with clients, with workshops, with education, and just really getting that feel for networking and collaborative space. So yeah, my spirit team is definitely there. And they can always sense too if a client is right for me or not. And I'd love to tap into that when we have a chance, Bobby, of how since my sister had passed away last year, I have been able to connect with her on a very much more spiritual level.
Wow.
To where I can call her in the present moment where we are now here. Yeah.
Vanessa, do you have a question? Because I'm chomping at the bit, but go ahead.
No, you guys, the thing is I work, like not work, but I mean, I obviously I've talked about some of my abilities. So I just let other people talk who are in the same world or have, because everybody practices differently. So I always like listening to that. I am curious about Mama Santi, because, when people say quantum, usually they're certified. Sometimes it's Dolores, sometimes it's other, like the Boulder Psychic Institute, like people go to these places. So it's always out. And sometimes people just find out they have this gift without realizing it, but that's usually, when I meet those people, they're in their like 80s. I'm noticing a lot of us are waking up later in life. Sometimes like we've had moments when we're younger, but like getting into actually just saying, what, this is actually what I'm going to practice from now on. I'm not going to ignore it. I ignored all those other signs. I ignored seeing that ghost in the corner. Right, Bobby? I ignored.
I don't ignore ghosts, but as far as any type of psychic abilities, I ignore all of that. I just go off of, I call it intuition. But
Bobby's a shiner and he's in denial. So, so is Amy too, but Amy's like open for it. So
I am. Yeah, no.
So yeah, I was curious if she's talked to you, if she ever got certified, if Mama Santi got ever certified by anybody. I don't know, because I'm always curious, like where people are learning to be in that quantum space. And when we say that, because I know it can be confusing when people hear that, it's just physicists talk about it. It just means it could be any plane of existence or dimension. Think of like an astral realm or, things like that. It's just depending how you travel or how you learn to travel. But everybody has the ability to do it. It's just who they practice from, and some people learn from somebody and realize maybe if they tweak it a little bit, that's better for them.
Techniques.
However.
Yeah.
Techniques.
Actually, I would love for her to be on eventually to be able to tell her story. But from what I know, intuitively, what I'm remembering is that she went out to Mexico and studied there for quite many years, astrology, quantum, really, really dive deep into those abilities there. When she started tapping in and practicing with them, I'm not too sure. But Mama Santi's house came through healing herself from being very sick at one point in time in her life. And so the motto was heal yourself, heal the world. And so she was a licensed massage therapist that, from my knowing, has always had these abilities, and then was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm about to just show the world.
Nice.
Like you said, literally, because I can't speak for her, but I know that's my intuitive knowing. Like she was just like, I'm done. I'm going to shine out. I'm not just a licensed massage therapist. I'm everything and more. And that's similar to my story.
Yeah.
Because for so time, I kind of kept myself in a box of, oh, I'm just a nurse. You help, doctors live their dreams and heal their patients. Well, no, that wasn't what I was meant to do. I was meant to work in the spiritual realm where I'm at now. And so with her being so knowledgeable, I just knew it was the right fit for me to be here. It was an energy. It was literally the energy that pulled me, that called me, was like, it's time.
Wow.
Go to her house, say what's up.
Yeah, the reason why I asked too, though, is because quantum healing is a little level higher than Reiki, at least my understanding, and also how I view the energy, how I see it. So, because like Reiki can sometimes is temporary. That's why healing yourself, like you said, is the ultimate healing process. Because once we learn what it is that is causing the blocks, like you talked about, you do open your life up to possibilities. Because the abundance now is like you just opened a door for abundance versus how you created like this little doorway when you could have just let the gates flood open and not put those parameters on yourself, kind of thing. So that's why that's pretty cool, you know, because when people do that for you or help you figure it out for you, because sometimes you just need a little nudge. You kind of already knew, that's why you showed up and said, hey, can you
We're getting
realign
positive
me?
energy, right? I just want to make sure before.
Yes, it's all positive, Bobby.
No. I'm talking about with what Jess was doing with the, you know, this.
Oh yeah,
is it sage or is it what is that?
Incense.
Incense.
So this
Oh yeah.
collaborative energy we're bringing in all.
Because she had a lot of smoke show going on right there. I was like, okay.
See, I'm so used to it. I didn't even think. I was like, I Palo Santo'd earlier, so I don't. So I was like,
the energy in the room, because there's just so much to just say to the collective, and all of these abilities that everyone has themselves. You just have to work with that proper mentor, like we're saying, and really dive deep into what does your authentic most dream life look like.
Yeah.
And are you willing to leave the environment that has made you sick for it or hindered you? And that's what I ask my clients. And so here we are.
That's a good question.
But honestly, this place has just been so magical, you guys. Like for my sessions, the amount of things that have come through, ancestors, the energy, the readings, the flickering of the lights. When I came in one day setting up for a client, I had to call Mama Santi and tell her like, yo, is everything good? Because it's just a vibe. And she's like, it's all good. My peeps are there. And it was so heavy, but I was like, I knew I was good. And then I felt like Charlie is who I call him, one of my spirit guides. And I said, Charlie's like, it's good, girl. Like, you're totally fine. You're just feeling the residual of the energy probably from the previous client. And so I just immediately said a prayer. I did some cleansing and rituals and it was fine. But that goes to show the energy here has just been so magical. And that was one of the key points I wanted to bring onto the show today, is that when you come into the house, it's not only receiving Reiki, quantum, massage, you're able to really tap into the beyond, and it's okay. I really want the community and collective to know that it's okay to do that we can remove those stigmas that it's wrong or that it's scary or that it's unknown or it's paranormal. It's absolutely necessary sometimes. So yeah, I can ramble all day about that.
Do you have a lot of, or a little of African American community that comes in and to these practices? Because I know they're always apprehensive when it comes to anything that's not Baptist. So do you have a fair amount of people who get cleansed?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Oh, nice.
But
That's good.
That's where the education
Exactly.
and in the bedside manners and the empathy and like meeting my clients where they're at comes in key. Because if someone's not ready, if they're really skeptical, and usually it is the BIPOC community where there's a lot of stigmas or religion come into play, it's like, okay, well then you know what, it's not divine timing and it's not time. Because what I want clients to feel is a natural pull. Is a natural pull to come in without hesitation. Of course, there's going to be questions, but you have to be in alignment. And so usually the clients from my BIPOC community, they're like, I've been waiting so long to see you. I've just like, didn't know how to about it, right? Or they feel like reluctant, almost sometimes I sense shame in reaching out to be like, I need space to be held, to be seen. And so that's when I step in. And that's one of my mottos is when your healing journey begins, I step in.
So Jess, I have a question though, in regards to your clients. So you said your guides will sometimes tell you if a client is right or wrong for you. Like what makes a client not right for you? Like they give off bad energy, or what does that mean?
That's a phenomenal question. And it's such a like blanket way to say if we're not fit meaning if the client is not willing to be receptive, be vulnerable, is very questioning, doubtful, I can feel sometimes a deceitful, almost an evil eye energy. I won't allow it because it's all collaborative work within Reiki and spiritual. If there's any friction of where I sense, you know what, this is like malicious or it's a hater energy, let's just be honest, I won't take it. And sometimes that happens because when you're progressing, you're leveling up, you're upgrading your life, we're human at the end of the day. And psychologically, that is how people navigate them seeing someone elevating or in power. And it's like, I want to entertain it because once you do, that allows attachments and eyes from places that we don't need. So that's sometimes what I will sense. And also if they are not willing to open the door to spirituality, if they're very into religion, which is fine, and they are just not receptive, like I said, I won't see them. Another concern of mine is if you have a lot of health issues, because I'm not a medical doctor as of yet. I want to be sure that my clients are not dealing with like high blood pressure, are on heavy psych meds, things of that nature, because it does affect us. It does affect our body on a cellular, on a biological level, as well as receiving the Reiki. And I'm not saying that I won't see clients that, have, let's say, hey, I'm taking anxiety meds, general anxiety, or have depression issues. No, of course, I hold space most definitely for the clients. The ones that are dealing with psychosis, or my clients that are in addiction, because I have, clients that are in addiction, because before I had mentioned, Bobby, in my last episode, I was an addiction recovery nurse. And sometimes with addictions, we bring on entities. And so I always stray away. And one thing I ask my clients, is there anything that I should know about present vice, addictions, drugs? Because it makes a difference.
Oh,
it makes
definitely
a huge difference in the energy work.
I'm not a medium or a psychic or a Reiki master or healer, but I know that for sure because I've seen it with my own eyes, as far as just that energy of someone not being themselves, and not just due to the drugs or the alcohol, but just the takeover of that spirit. And because I've always wondered that, and I know we talked about that on the last show, about a person who is susceptible to entities from addictions, because it just lowers their whole, I don't know if it's their energy levels or what.
It's their energetic ability to defend themselves, because your inhibitions are down, which means also your energetic space is down. And once that's down, your barrier's down. Don't get me wrong. In my 20s, I had some fun drinking, and I had a lot of mediumship happen because I was drinking. I didn't realize what was going on, right? It was just, I opened up because my things would go down. I was lucky though that I kind of already had a self-awareness or an empowerment to know that I could protect myself. So if anything were to happen, I already acknowledged that I had all the ability to send whatever I needed to wherever it needed to go. So I I kind of ignored that. But most people, if they're not empowered to understand how to use energy or anything, yes, I would say probably that.
Vanessa, thank you so much for bringing that up.
Sorry, did I answer your question for her? I am so sorry if I did. I'm so sorry.
If it wasn't for what I went through in my adolescenthood with addiction, I wouldn't have gone through my awakening to be receptive to my abilities and to awaken to my higher conscience and do what I do now. Because I too went through a very dark road. And if it wasn't for that dance with the devil, it wouldn't have led me to the light. And I was very fortunate to make it out, because suicidal ideation was huge for me. It was numbing. Self-mutilation was numbing to me. It helped me cope. There was a lot of things that I went through as an adolescent because of those messages or dreams or things that I saw as a kid that I didn't know how to understand, I didn't know how to perceive and make. And so you mentioned that you were able to tap into those abilities. And like I said, if it wasn't for that, then I wouldn't have been where I am now. But specifically with clients in active addiction, it's different. And there's some that are willing, like, no, I want to release all these attachments. I'm ready to move forward in my addiction. Then I can lead them to the proper resources, NA, AA, if they want to do the 12 steps, or we do a really deep dive into spiritual cleansing. But the ones that are just really in the facade of the addiction itself, or not willing to change, that's the ones where I put the barrier. And I'm like, okay, I have empathy for you. I hold space, but for my own protection, and for the house as well.
Mm-hmm.
I am mindful of, Mama Santi's space and everyone else. I'm just, I practice good discernment. But for the most part, I work with everybody. I haven't turned a client away yet. So, yeah.
That's good. I was going to say, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, Vanessa. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, honestly, too, probably those clients who aren't for you, they probably would turn away once they got to the closer to the house, because the energy gets higher vibrations. And if something's attached, they're going to be like, nope, because they're going to get rid of us. We got to go the other way.
Or even I've had someone, that have reached out, clients or my Instagram, followers, they'll say, hey, I'm not liking that you're there. I had someone tell me I don't like that you're there. And I'm like, okay. Like I wanted to know more though.
Yeah.
And I was intrigued and like, tell me more. And straight up what you just said, Vanessa, it's real. Energy doesn't lie. And it's like, I'm comfortable where I'm at. I'm divinely protected and guided. I was guided here to work here for a reason. But like they say, you could be the juiciest peach. I always use this analogy, and there'll be somebody that doesn't like peaches, but energy doesn't lie. The real recognize real. And I think that divine rejection is divine protection. So yeah, if someone does come to the doors and they are swayed to turn the other way, well, damn good, because it wasn't meant.
Right.
Anyways, and like I said, this place is so magical. It holds such an amazing energy, which is here right now with us. So if you want to ask any questions, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah. So can I go back to, I know your previous work history as a nurse. So what I find interesting is I've heard of a lot of nurses with, psychic abilities. They actually work, I guess maybe it's in hospice or something like that, and where they can actually connect with people that are crossing over. And I know you said you were an addiction and recovery nurse. Like, did you ever think of maybe branching into another field that maybe was better suited to your skills and abilities?
Yeah, I mean, thank you for asking. So I'm sorry I didn't get to tap into what I did prior to that. That was my last stop in nursing, but prior to that, it was always focused on holistic, homeopathic, integrative medicine. So where we're healing from the inside out, and usually it's last people stop to go to a naturopath. So that's what I did prior to addiction recovery. But with hospice, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because there was people that needed that care, you guys, in that addiction recovery time. And when I was in it, it was COVID. It was literally 2020 to 2022. People were dying. So yeah, we had to transition some from detox. They didn't make it to hospice care. And I always wondered, like, wow, how is it for somebody in that realm of medicine or work as a nurse to transmute, to feel, to hold space, to help in that transitional process, right? But I never got into it specifically, but there's something special about the death and dying process. Number one, we're all collectively being called to awaken spiritually to that. What does that mean? To know that that is where we are headed, which is the next afterlife, right? And to have acceptance in that, because the sacred of every day after loss, it's slowing down, it's praying, it's cleansing, it's creating. And that is what death has allowed me to do. It's really allowed me to shift my perspective on the narrative that it's hurtful, that it's ugly, that it's painful. It is those things too, but that it's also beautiful. It's transformative. It's home. It's the next destination into where we're all headed. And so, yeah, working in that realm of medicine allowed me to hold such more empathy for those that were on their way to death. to dying. And I've had my share with patients that were overdosing, in which I had to step in and do CPR, and where there was that fine line of where I started, and I spoke about this in the last episode, where I could feel my abilities kicking in, where I could see the transition, if they were going to make it or not, or I can see them already, part of them had passed. They were already passing. It was just their body, their carcass still holding on to this realm. So it was heavy work, which is why hence I left and was like, I need a break.
Yeah.
I energetically needed to recalibrate my mind, body, and spirit. At that time, I was only a mom to one, but it felt like my life was so much more stressful. And sure, there was just so much energy that was leached onto me, definitely. And working in, let me tell you, in a mental health facility, there's so many spirits. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's so many hauntings that happen in that building, let me tell you.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, especially you working in that type of environment, that you would start to see that, because that is very accurate. I mean, maybe, there we do, just so you know, Jess, if you ever want, my friend is a death doula. She actually does this. So she does the process of transferring people. And what you think of them already being dead, you're kind of right. So I think, because without you knowing exactly, but that's exactly what you see, guys, by the way. What Jess said is, like, you see their spirit outside of their body, and yet there's there, but they're not there. So they're already in that in between transition period. So when you're around them, like you said, Jess, you'll start to pick up on those things. And then sometimes too, if they're still conscious, they'll start telling you they're seeing stuff. And things like that. So, yeah, if you guys want metaphysical you, they teach it. My friend Yaritza, she teaches it. So if anybody, I think they're going to have one in a few months.
Definitely not getting involved.
Yeah, but if you ever want to know anything about a death doula, because it is something that people need and they don't realize sometimes, especially in a hospice situation. So check out metaphysicalu.com, guys, and see whenever they're going to put up the death doula.
Okay,
it's
now
like
give us the definition
of
the death doula. That even just sounds crazy.
So they are literally transitioning people into death, into the afterlife. And that can look different for everybody, because everybody's afterlife is based upon their belief system. So, Bobby, you're Christian. You're probably going to see Jesus when when the light comes in, and when your guides come to get you, and your ancestors. And
Mom, I'm not Christian. Just I'm not Christian.
Okay, you're not Christian. No. What are you? Are you non-denominated? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm making assumptions.
If my mom's listening, I'm Baptist. But,
you're Baptist. So that's Christian, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. On paper.
But
on paper, let's just
get me in trouble.
See what a death doula would do, though. Bobby would ask you directly. Say, hey, if you're conscious, would say, hey, what are your beliefs? It doesn't matter what your family believes. They're going to ask you, what do you believe? Because they want to make your transition as more comfortable and as directly related to your soul as close as possible, so that anything that happens to you will not be a surprise, and you will not be scared of the transition, because there's no reason to be scared of being born again. In my opinion, you're born again when you're born back into your original form. You're just going back to what you were.
Sleep. That's all I know. Period. In my body,
you're already half awake, bro. Just get further awake.
Fruity pebbles, and it will just disappear.
As above, so below, Bobby. Wake up.
There's an importance to the energetic body after physical death. Whether that's through the chakras, etheric.
Just for the record, really quick, let me interrupt you guys, only because I do have a phobia, and I didn't want to get into that right now since we're talking about death. I want to talk about spirits and entities and. But anyways, my phobia actually is leaving my body behind. That is actually a phobia of mine.
Bobby.
Period. Regardless,
you do it every night, Bobby. You do it every night.
You are correct, but obviously I wake up. I know this. I always say this, that every night you disconnect, and that might be the night that you don't reconnect, and you're just gone for whatever the reason, whether it's your heart attack or whatever
Bobby,
the reason.
You're going to be around for a while. Relax, okay?
Jeez.
You're going to be all right.
I don't want to know that either.
Vanessa?
No, nobody's trying to see anything. Can we focus, ladies?
I didn't really tune into that. The thing is, I say a lot of positive things because at the end of the day, that is what he wants. So we can manifest it for him.
Wait,
so you
what he-
say these
what-
things into
is-
manifestation, you'll
what is-
manifest it.
Oh,
It will
okay.
become
I wanna
part of his
be-
timeline.
I want to be exactly how I am for the next 40 or 50 years. So,
But I can if you wanted me to predict the time. I
no,
can.
no.
Because that's another thing.
That's
Actually,
Amy.
Oh my gosh.
Bobby,
Why'd
you
have to tell
actually
us that?
triggered me to remind me. This is reminding me to ask Amy because Bobby in the text said something about you having somebody over for 4th of July. And I was trying to remember the reading I did on you. And I know I said 8, but now I'm wondering if I meant August. Because I was like, is it 8 months? I said 8 months, but I don't know if I meant, I just got
like in August, I'm gonna meet.
Remember?
We
The
are
ex-
derailing the show. Can we,
I know, sorry.
we have to talk about this.
Sorry,
oh
Jess.
my God, I'm here to talk to
Could have been
beautiful
the 8.
Jess.
888 could have been the 8 in my name. Who knows?
Yeah, there you go.
Follow
And
up
she
with
did.
Vanessa
She
after
hit
this.
on Jess like
Okay.
right when we started. I'm just joking, but but anyways, I did want to Vanessa. I will never want to know that question. But with that being said,
Okay.
Jess, did you experience different hauntings in these particular places that you worked with entities that didn't know whether or not they were actually dead and you had to like, no, you need to go, or any situations like that occur?
Yes, Bobby. It was in a women's place here in Riverside, which is the home to, I believe, 42 women and children. So they're one of the only facilities here in Riverside to house mothers with their children.
Oh, wow.
And so that to me is really neat because you're able to keep families together instead of separating them. And yes, in one of the family rooms specifically, when a mom and daughter vacated, I was called to go back there. Not only was it like 2 halls down the deep, darkest end of the whole damn building, but it smelled.
Oh, wow.
Smelled. And that was the first, that was like, I said, I knew it. I'm like, oh shit. All right.
Yeah.
Literally remember being that day I'm in my scrubs and I'm like, really right now? Fuck. And at that time, I wasn't in tune with how to connect with them because I was in my nursing mode. I was in, taking sure nobody was overdosing or doing shit that they weren't supposed to, making sure, mat maintenance medicines were being delivered on time and dealing with the babies too. But I knew that there was just an intuitive sense in the smell. So I went in and I'm like, you know what? Let me go to my car before I even enter the room. Went and grabbed some Palo Santo. Didn't light it. Obviously, it couldn't. But I don't want to bring attention. And I went in the room and I said a prayer. And I was like, whatever is here, you are free. You don't have to stay here anymore. Like it was just like a female, just really, really broken, just didn't know anything else. Had been there many, many years. She'd been there so many times. She'd get clean, then she'd relapse, then she'd go back. And then it was like a cycle for her that ended there, but she never fully transitioned out. And so I just held space and was like, it's okay. Why do you want to be in this ugly ass room in this building? And so I think after that, the energy was much lighter. I can't say because I didn't stay too long after that. Actually, it was like maybe 3 months and then I left. But it was much lighter. The room ended up being like completely stripped down. Like I'm talking about gutted, like floor, walls, everything replaced. And that was like a big sign in itself too. There was something definitely there. And I don't know, I never got to see if there's any families moved in, but yes, I did. And it was necessary. It was meant for me to be there to help that spirit transition over and just hold space for her like I was for everybody else there. And it was real and raw and really, really eye-opening for me because, and I'm getting like emotional speaking about it, because addiction is so hard.
Yeah.
And if you've been through it, you just don't know it. And she was just so sad, just like stuck there. So for me to hold space and release her was great. So I'm glad I was able to do that for you.
That's awesome.
And often at times I'll get like thank yous that like download on me, and then I remember like, dude, you've been holding space for a lot of energy, like present, past, and beyond. And I thank myself. I'm like, have a moment, thank myself, because it's heavy and that shit lingers on.
Yeah.
You know? And then I release it.
You said you had spirit guides with you as we're talking, right? Hopefully they want to tell Vanessa the time that she's going to leave this. No, I'm just joking. I have to say that. Just
Vanessa already knows. She knows her.
Because she has me thinking
I
about
know when I'm
thinking
gonna
about
die,
stuff.
Bobby. Relax, okay?
For real? You do? Oh my
No,
God.
Dad,
Vanessa's out of control. It's,
I'm not out of control.
I love learning things in a podcast in real time about your host as we do the show.
I know. That's a crazy one.
That's
You know,
funny.
fingers crossed it comes sooner than I'm.
Wow. She's gonna be 108 talking about, I can tell you when this guy named Bobby had this podcast.
Listen,
anyways.
man, I like making my guides laugh though, because they know I'm just messing around. I know that I'm stuck here till I'm stuck here, dog. So
I actually have a lovely spread out for you guys today. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Oh, nice.
okay.
Oh, nice.
I'll let you into the room here. There's such a great little magical energy here.
Amazing. And tell us about your practices as you're guiding the camera around the room, only because so that way people know it's not to get panicked over or to, come in and be at ease.
So I'll stop. I definitely welcome all here. It's a space where you are able to let your defenses down, to allow someone else to hold the baggage, to hold the stress, to hold the worries, to hold the trauma, to hold the hurt, and to bring in clarity, joy, love, and sometimes companionship, right? Because at the end of the day, we're humans who crave society and companionship. And so I welcome all of that. And that's how I hold space for my clients. And so here in the room, I really start off with a comforting bed where I attune all of my clients. I'm a big believer in heat therapy and crystal therapy. I work with different waters to assist in healing. As of lately, I've really been tapped into my Santa Clara water, different minerals, as well as different candles. And as of lately, I've also been really called to work with drums and rap and a lot of indigenous ceremonial tools. And call me crazy, but I think it's just because of what's happening collectively.
Yeah.
And there's just so much happening that my intuitive self knows with each client how to channel out energy. With everyone, it's different. Every body is different. So sometimes it could be with those rattles or candles or sprays, tinctures, herbal remedies, teas. However I feel called to make you feel at ease, I will do so. So Bobby, for you, I'd welcome in with a nice warm of tea, maybe.
That's, right up my alley. She already knows. How is that possible? I'm a big tea guy.
I will be mindful with the scents. I feel like you wouldn't be really heavy into all the incense and stuff. Keep it
She
really
knows that too.
low key and mellow.
See, that's I get creeped out when people start doing that, only because that's like totally true. And anyways.
What else what other secrets can you tell us about Bobby that we need to know about?
They're not secrets.
I'm
Those
the
are
nicest
external
person.
things
Give us a
that.
juicy secret. Somebody, Vanessa, Jess.
No, because that's breaking his trust. You can't read into
darn.
somebody's energy like
Okay.
that
Bobby, we don't
without
have
their
permission. We don't have
Those are
permission, Bobby?
external things she's picking up. Those aren't like her going into his private.
That's true.
Those are
Right.
like external things he's telling people like, don't I don't want extra caffeine. Nope, I don't want extra smells. And nope, I don't want to go see ghosts. And nope, I don't want to know anything.
I don't
Makes
want
sense. Yeah.
But no,
Okay.
Jess Jess can do.
Fine.
I give Jess
consent.
all the permissions in the world. She's amazing. So.
Oh, okay. You better read in now because
No,
you
no,
won't
no,
give it
no,
to me.
not,
He gave permission.
no, not that like that. But
You all don't say that then, Bobby, because you said you gave her all the
Bobby.
permission.
Yeah.
I'm pulling out cards,
Jesus.
Bobby.
Yeah. He said he has no secrets, but then he just got nervous when
no,
we thought you gave permission to give us a secret.
It's not.
So-
It's not
No,
secrets.
but-
I'm going to tell you what it is.
oh my
It's-
Jesus!
And no,
What is
no, I'm not going to
happening
tell you
here?
exactly what it is, Bobby. I'm saying I can see the thought form behind it,
Yes.
the energy behind what you're doing. He just doesn't want to bring up things. It's not because he's hiding it. It's just because he doesn't want to have to relive it, and bring it into his world. He's
yeah,
afraid it's going to come
I
back.
don't know. It's just I haven't done certain things. Like I never had like a massage. I'm not a massage person, like, because I'm like a muscly guy, so it's hard for people to massage me. So I never even do any of that.
You need to get your chakras clean. That grounding one has to go. It has to get cleaned out. I want to see it bright red, Bobby. I want to see it bright red.
Face your fears. When you're honest with yourself about fears of whether success, failure, or in life, they are no longer of control of you. Be free of hidden fears by exposing them to the light. Okay? And that every successful person that has struggled with has released these self-doubts and fears. That does relate to our root chakra, survival,
Yeah.
how we're living, right?
Mhm.
So,
See, Bobby, I don't need cards, Bobby. No.
And there's another one here, Bobby. It's allow healthful, supportive partnerships. Both parties will benefit. You're receiving help from a person who brings needed skills and resources in.
Ooh, wait,
That's me and Amy, Bobby.
wait.
That's me and Amy.
That's very interesting.
see?
I'm glad I'm recording.
You see what the
this.
universe is trying to tell you, Bobby? No.
What else, Jess?
Amy.
Spend time in nature, Bobby. Reconnect with some nature. So you know me, I'm an earth goddess. I'm a Taurus. I'm always going to tell people to go hug a tree. But no,
I was going to tell you that's why you like that drumming, by the way. I forgot to tell you that brings the earth energy higher, the frequency. So I was going to be like, that's probably why.
I'm a Libra. I'm always trying to balance everything. So that's just what I do.
I love it. You like to balance the scales. Hey, go outside and enjoy a walk, though, or a hike, or meditate beneath a tree. Sit under the stars or do some other activity to connect with the limitless vastness that the nature around you has to offer.
Go say hi to my buddies in the sky, Bobby, at night. Just go say what's up. Say Vanessa said what's up and let a little orb, just a nice plasma ball show up in your sky for you.
No, I
That would be
Look,
crazy.
look
going
at
on
this.
a nice ride.
Vanessa.
I see I'm the angel for everybody, dog.
You pulled the Vanessa again?
Vanessa, to make your decision, ask yourself, which way brings me closer to my divine purpose? Which way takes me away from it?
Okay, I have to say something about that. Okay, the person that was on the show with me
That's so rad.
was let me see if my phone is connected to my equipment, because I want to play something for you, Jess. And you ladies can talk amongst yourselves and do a reading on Amy, or at least do something with her.
Yeah, Amy, let's see what Jess pulls for you.
Yeah. Pull up some cards for me, Jess, while we're waiting for him to.
Maybe you want to throw out something into the universe, Amy, for them to answer.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, what do you want to ask your guides? There's something on your mind, Amy. It's all good. You can ask me.
Okay, maybe I'll ask the same question that I asked Vanessa, because I am dying to see what if it's going to be the same answer, a different answer. Okay.
That's funny.
Have I or will I meet my soulmate?
Yeah, but you know what? There's time has gone by since we did this reading. So just putting that disclaimer out there.
That is true.
No, but I really have to go back and edit. But it dawned on me this morning and I wanted to bring it up because in the kitchen, I was half awake and the number 8 and then something with Bobby's text. And I started putting it together and I was like, I wanted to but we can talk about it off camera. But I was like, oh, I got to ask Amy.
Okay, wait,
because
she
I
has
was
something.
like,
Hey, Amy, I got
Yeah.
you. So
Okay.
first, I'll tell you that it's always within you. You are your first soulmate.
Thank you. freaking.
Girl,
Okay,
what did I
keep
tell
trying
you
to
during the
tell-
reading, Amy?
But
What the hell did I
Amy,
say, Amy?
Amy cannot.
What did I done did say?
Amy will stay in her own way. She does not.
Okay,
she has
yes,
to look
no.
for outward people to
Attracting-
validate
No,
her.
I know.
Guys, let's just finish talking and
I
then we
know.
can tell her what I
I
said.
know. I'm
Okay.
just trying
I
to beat Amy
totally.
up right
Okay,
quick.
yes. Go ahead, Jess. I'm sorry.
Anyone or anything you chase after will run the other way because of the fears underlying chasing energy. Instead, attract what you need by sending out love, gratitude, and welcoming energy. Attracting, not chasing.
What is Vanessa doing?
That's my
Okay,
own.
yeah.
That's my soul train dancing. I was like, that's my, when I'm in the
Vanessa
line waiting to get my
totally-
chance to come
Yeah,
up, you know, and then I'll be
she
like,
told me that exact thing. Okay,
Bobby
I
told you that
get that,
years
and it
ago.
makes sense. But aside from that,
She wants to know.
Okay, and I did do this for her too, Jess. So I told, I said, I was
She
like,
did, she
fine, I'll
did.
try to get something. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give you some
makes sense.
tangible evidence that you can kind of carry with you and look for
I-
the next 8 days to 8 months to 8 years. I'm done because I got an
You
Oh,
have
8
just-
years.
I'm kidding. It's not going to be that long.
Just
It's
for
not going to be
our
that long.
audio listeners.
I do like how you gave very specific details, though, Vanessa.
Just
Well, I
for-
try because I try to have some evidence that you can like be tangible, so that way it can
Right.
validate it's real.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do if anybody can
Exactly.
give you a generalization? I mean, but it's nice if
Right.
you can pull a number or pull a month or pull something that, or even pull like sometimes I tell them to tell me something that nobody would know but you
Keep
too.
going, Amy. What kind of trip are you planning for?
Well, not much right now, actually.
It will be 555. If you haven't been seeing it, you're going to be seeing it soon. Okay.
That's funny.
Five,
Amy's
five,
always going
five?
on trips too. Really
No,
weird.
because Amy's not remembering, but I told her she was going to meet some lady, some friend. She's going to make friends with somebody. And I told her to start doing stuff with this person.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yes, Vanessa did say that.
glad
So
Vanessa
I'm
remember.
surprised
How
I
do you
even
not
remember because
remember?
normally when I channel stuff or whatever, I don't remember, but I know I've looked at the recording, so I think it's like in there now. So I have to go back and like
Oh, no,
refresh
cool.
myself.
So I just wanted
Okay,
to
well,
tell
hopefully-
our wait 1 second. I want to tell our audio listeners for the podcast
Sorry.
as Vanessa and Amy were going back and forth. Jess was actually getting some other items so she can probably do a reading on Amy, because Amy has to know. She has to know what the person looks like, what his, not I won't say bank account. She doesn't care about that, but she wants to know a lot about this particular person instead of just letting nature and the laws of attraction run its course, and actually letting her inner Amy be the best inner Amy and loved by herself, other than looking for external people to validate. But anyways, that's just Bobby's craziness.
Yes, of course. Yes, that makes absolute sense. I get that. Yes, you have to love yourself first before you're going to attract any kind of true love.
It's not
But
love like that, though. It's different type of love, meaning you have to be okay with being by yourself
Alone.
and in
Yeah.
your own.
Yeah, it's a different,
person.
and believe me, when you get there, you feel the difference because when I don't know, I don't know what, I don't know, maybe a bunch of heartbreak got me there to realize like, oh, I've not been with myself, you know, I've not put myself first. And now that I have, like truly, I could not care
Yeah,
if
because you
I'm
keep
by
running
myself.
and you never
Like,
with yourself
Yeah.
because you always have somebody to help you stay away from yourself. But with all that being said, before we get into anything, what I was looking for, I found. And Jess, this is a reading you did with Carolyn, which she was supposed to be on tonight. But she will be on at a later time. But I wanted to play this because I sent it to the ladies, but Carolyn actually is gone on. She is coming back to a degree to do something on the show, but she was the main host. It was just me and her doing the show when you were first on. And her true thing that she wanted to always do is a true crime podcast. And so she went on in 2024 to do true crime podcast. And then I found Vanessa, and Vanessa was kind of the catalyst for her to say, okay, you know what, since you have someone else, let me go ahead and do this particular podcast. But I want to play this back for you and for the listeners. Here we go.
This is another card here in my angel deck, and it'll be the last one that I pull from here. But the last message coming through is to make your decision, collective. Ask yourself which way brings you closer to your divine purpose and which way takes you away from it. And that's a really good card to leave on this reading. Again, I'll repeat that. To make yourself, to make a decision, ask yourself which way brings me closer to my divine purpose and which way takes me away from it. That's pretty deep.
Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty deep.
I definitely needed to hear that.
And if the name is any significant, the angel on that card is Vanessa. And so Vanessa is asking us to make that decision, really going introspectively, going in deep, collective, like, who do you want to show up as in 2024? Exactly. Are you aligning with your purpose? Are you aligning with what you're doing, with what you're saying and who you are? And so really asking us to show up in a different way.
Mm-hmm. So yes, I found that very interesting when I went back to listen to the show, and I didn't know Vanessa at all at that time. So
when did that occur, Bobby? That was what month? Do you remember?
I think I released the episode the October 13th of 2023. So it was probably around October the 1st or 2nd or somewhere around there. When
did I reach out to you? Was it almost a year later or something?
It was probably the end of that year, somewhere around there.
Is that
I was 2023? So
this suggests the whole story of how I reached out to him too, which is so funny. Is like my friend sent me a screenshot, not even the link to the podcast. So I had to do my own, but I was literally going on that mantra that whatever I need to do needs to be divinely from my heart. So if I wanted to talk about paranormal things or keep podcasting, even because I had a podcast on my own that I just talk to comics and then I do readings for them and I ask them about their paranormal experiences, and it's kind of fun because they're jokesters and you don't necessarily always see these guys in those serious lights where they're like, yeah, I was scared, or yeah, it was cool, or I don't even want to see them, but this did happen. Like a lot of denial, especially my Black comic friends, only one. Well, actually, all of them had something to share, but none of them wanted to go deeper into it, like Bobby. Like, just so.
No, I have a show. What do you mean? I go deeper into all things.
No. I mean, of their personal experiences. Oh, okay. Like, they don't want to think too hard about it, like what it could mean, because that opens up doors to different things and their belief. It could jeopardize their belief system, which I totally understand. So it was a fun thing though to do with them though, and to see how they interacted. The one thing I will tell you is like, there was several comics on there that were shocked by my readings because, I never told them I could do things. I just was a comic who showed up and just blah, blah, blah. And then because I've been doing this now, I'm like, I'm leading with my heart divinely and just telling people now like what I can do. So it's just, very interesting though that this all came together, because I didn't even know that, Bobby. I think I didn't even get to that episode yet because I'd been going down the old ones, but it was just when you sent that, I was like, well, have you ever thought that ironically they chose the angel card with my name on it, like kind of to give you a little nudge, like to be like, hey, look, we're even going to pull that card because it happens to have her name on it.
Yeah, and it came back again, like today. Wow. Amy, so sorry to cut you off, Vanessa.
Oh no, I'm done. I was just saying.
I really felt called to give you the message now. It's just, just spend some time within yourself, by yourself, within yourself, and understand that you are whole and complete as you are. You lack nothing. No, nothing at all.
Okay.
Meditate about your desires and intentions. Ask your angels, your higher power, your source to help you gain a positive perspective on life, on what you want to do and how you want to show up for yourself. So that way the right people show up for you. The right soulmate shows up for you. Right? Yes, the timing is right for this new venture. That's why I said, are you going anywhere? A happy outcome follows your positive expectations. Maybe like not traveling, but just getting out more, doing things with other people, community, common union is coming up. The personal growth at this time is guiding you to your highest self. Okay. sometimes before we meet that soulmate or that soulmate appears in our life, we have so much self-elevation to do, and a lot of releasing. Okay. So Caressa here, this is the last card for your reading. It says you are at the end of a cycle in your life. Call upon your angels to comfort you and to guide you in your next step. Happiness awaits you now. Okay.
Well, I like that.
Beautiful palm trees, like, gosh, out in like Cancun or something.
Palm Springs, maybe. Palm Springs.
Hey, my new BFF, Vanessa is coming, and we're gonna go.
Too bad I don't live by you,
Springs.
Amy. I'd go with you. I'd be the person to start taking you places.
I would make sure I
Significance.
videotape that.
Dolphins, if you like dolphins, Amy, I'm not sure. Lots of good.
Maybe you coming to Miami.
Yeah, full of energy. The energy. Just right. Mr. Right is out there. He's closer than you think. It's all about just getting grounded within yourself. All right. And know that you lack nothing and you are whole with or without Mr. Right.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay. I had it was the same thing. I know.
Sorry to break it. I wish I would have told you he's like.
Sorry, the universe is telling you to still work on yourself and stop worrying.
I'm not perfect. Okay.
Listen, this job is never ending. Okay, everybody, this is really our goal. Whenever we get here, our goal is to keep improving. And how we see to do that is the difference, seek to do that. So
that's my goal. But thank you. Thank you both, actually. Yep. I really appreciate that. It makes sense. Yeah.
Well, we've gone so much off track.
I think it's been great.
I just want to ask a couple of pertinent questions. Sorry to hear about your sister passing. How was she able to come to you? Through comfort, or you calling her, or she, knowing that she's able to get in contact with you? How did that happen?
So the night that she passed, I hadn't talked to her. It was August 2nd. She passed around 9 p.m. I hadn't talked to her since the morning. And so I was already uneasy that day and was already like channeling in a part of her that I wasn't sure. I didn't know what was going on. I just felt her near but away. And then around 8 p.m., I got a really terrible feeling in my stomach. And I remember like literally getting up, and I'll get up now to show you guys what I did. But I started to shake. I was just like, I need to shake it off. I was cold. I was clammy.
Yeah.
And so then I didn't know until 4:44 the next morning. 4:44, got the call from my mom, and she said coroner's knocked on my door, and she was in a car crash. Her boyfriend lived, she didn't. And it was the next day that I said, I need you to come see me. I know you're here. Where are you? Show me something. And it was butterflies. A lot of people see butterflies, but it was a very specific butterfly that came to see me that next day. She was huge, like black and yellow, highlighter yellow, super vivid. I knew it was her. And it started simple. It started out like that. And I asked her, I said, can I deepen my connection with you? Can I have you here as if you were as close enough as to your present physical form? And she said, yes. And look at 222. I knew then that our relationship had evolved to what it is now. And I respect her time, and I respect what she's doing now. So I'm very mindful and conscious with how I call her and when I, use my abilities to bring her forth with me. But it's been amazing. It's been so necessary to learn this now as a 32-year-old woman, mother. Okay. Because it's different when you have kids, thinking about that process. And she's allowed me to see the beauty in it, because grief is just all the love that we didn't have the opportunity to give or finish giving.
Mm-hmm.
So I give it to her now. I give it to her now in the ways. And it's funny because she will greet me when I come in the house. She'll like ring the bells on the doors, and she's like, "Hey, you're coming in and doing what you love to, to do. Keep doing what." And so it's been absolutely just magical. It has, to feel her, to hear her. There's times when I can smell. She she had a thing for blunts, for swishers, and they came like smell.
Yeah.
And I'll smell it, and I'm like, dude, for real?
Yeah.
No backwoods smell.
Backwoods. Yeah, you get it. And that backwoods smell, that was her. And I can tune into those scents and those clear, abilities. And I know I'm not alone, and I know that our relationship has evolved to what it is now. And so it's been amazing because it's also allowed me to gain more strength in channeling in for my clients.
Mm-hmm.
For being receptive to the other side, even on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Because I think not that I was afraid to work, not that I was not already doing it. It was just, I wasn't receptive. I was still like blocking myself from allowing them to really work with me and we with them. And so since my sister passed, it's been so eye-opening. Mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and I'm sure Bobby, as a man of faith, it's just a subject and something that's really dear to heart that we don't really talk about or know until it hits home. And this is my first ever experiencing death. I had never had anybody die, close to me this way, and it wasn't only my sister; it was my grandma 2 months after too.
Oh wow!
And they say death comes in threes, so we were prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
We knew something was going to happen in quick, and it was my father's mother, and so I wasn't so close to her, but she came through quick when she died too. She's like, might have not been there in person in the earth realm, but I'm here now. What do you need?
Yeah. Wow.
And I was like, okay, this is legit. This is what it is. Wow. This is how it is to be a medium, a psychic, or whatever you want to call me, whatever, there's so many labels and names, just a spiritual being having this human experience. But to tap into these abilities is like, wow, this is it. That was like a huge pivotal point to what has led me now here at Mama Santi's house, because she works with crossed over, she works with those in transition, so it's been really, really healing, and super, super eye-opening.
I think if like myself, meaning if more people kind of looked inward and allowed their feelings to guide them, this world wouldn't be in the state that it's in now, because these are things that we used to utilize, back eons ago to get to this level that we're at now. Opposed to brushing all that off, we should have looked more into it. Just like you were saying about Mama Santi.
Mama Santi.
Santi. Like, learning those practices from places like Mexico, just places that are still utilizing these techniques and skills that have been handed down from eons. That's amazing to me, opposed to, I went to, there is no college, theoretically you can go to for certain types of practices, but opposed to just people delving into things and books and then trying to teach themselves and teach others, opposed to going to people who, this is in their heritage, this is in their family, this has been passed down from generations to generations, and like I was talking to a coworker, and he was going through a process that he was like, I'll tell you about it after I'm finished, but I'm going through, it's my turn for this weight that I have to carry that I'm going through. And I think it'll be awesome for your show for me to come on and talk about. I was like, wow, that's incredible. She's like, yeah, it's not passed down to everybody. And they chose me. So those type of practices to me are incredible.
Well, I was gonna add on to this, Bobby, like, I'm thinking about how to word this, because I want to kind of tie back to the beginning when Jess was talking about how she was working on herself and recognizing certain limitations. And those are usually through traumas, and you have to remember, old world didn't have the same traumas, but we do carry down generational, and some Christians would call those generational curses, whatever you want to call it. It's in our DNA. It's in that quantum field. But we have to remember we chose, well, I should say, some of us believe we chose the families and we chose the lineages because to work through that process. So if people want to improve their already existing gifts, go to therapy. I guarantee, even if you don't go see a mentor for any psychic ability or whatever, people, there's so many people out there. That's another thing, guys. Just do your research too. Don't believe everybody. Not that those people don't have abilities. They just may not be the right teacher for you or the right mentor. And your gut will tell you. I hope I hope it does. Actually,
just
I should
listen
say.
to
I
your
hope.
gut. That's the thing.
But just listening to your gut, right? But yeah, so if you just want to start on figuring out what your abilities are, go to therapy first. I guarantee the moment you start working on yourself, similar to like us telling Amy, just focus on yourself. It's everything falls in line. You will, because you're just focused on yourself and trying to be the best self in this physical world, that your 5D will start, as above, so below. So if we start manifesting it, it will go into the subconscious and it will manifest in real time in this world. It doesn't just have to be some fantasy out there, you can energize it and manifest it. So
well, therapy was a huge component to my life. It absolutely saved my life. Before I met my mentor, I did 12 years of therapy work. Like I said, I struggled with a lot of traumas. I was emancipated at 16. So you can imagine the traumas that come with not having a mother or a father to guide and support you through life. But if it wasn't for talk therapy, but not only talk therapy, guys, there's EMDR, there's CBT, there's applied behavioral analysis for adults as well. There's my next route, which is, I'm so glad you brought it up. I had mentioned to you guys that I wanted to apply to the chiropractor program. Along with that, I want to apply to also what's called the LPCC credentiality with a master's program, which allows me to do what I do now, but with license and have the ability to take insurance. So I can have that ability to see more clients under insurance to do what's called licensed practicing clinical counseling. And with recreational therapy, it looks like Reiki here, but I can do it out there. I can facilitate workshops, classes. So that's kind of where I'm going next. If you guys are curious where I'm headed, because I cannot do much with just a bachelor's. I cannot take insurance with that. So my main goal would be to get to the point where a lot of patients can go from cash to utilize their insurance. And so that's the goal, to really implement those forms of healing therapy, multidisciplinary approaches to help the collective really heal and understand that they have the ability to do it for themselves, just with the right tools, right guidance, mentorship, and practitioner and or doctor physician.
We'll talk to you a year or two from now, and all these things will have manifested.
Wait, I just want to tell Jess something, because this has been, I wrote it down and I don't know. I just know I have to tell her this. Look into, if you haven't already, called the emotion code. Because I feel like that is something you could do. I'm sorry. My guides are telling me that is something you could eventually do. Because it already works with people's energies and things like that. And a chiropractor actually created it. So since you've already in that, I mean, people don't realize, I mean, most of us are probably healers of some sort. You already tried to be a healer as a nurse, like you're a healer at heart. So like, I think you're going to be able to pick up certain things that align with you, but I think you will like this emotion code thing, because it goes into emotion code, belief code, and then they get into spiritual code. And so you'll just go look into it. If you have a Spotify premium account, the audiobook's there. I mean, it's cool.
I'm tuned in. That's so great. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to move over here. Sorry.
Yeah, I literally wrote it down. I'm sorry. That's what you saw me writing in the beginning. I started getting little, so I started writing.
Scratch notes. I love that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Well, I have no spiritual guide or anything else, but just like you were saying about the time and the age when you got emancipated, you just give off that old soul vibe. You know yourself. You've came back so many times to where, you're able to actually utilize the knowledge and the skills that you've learned throughout your lifetimes, or whatever you want to call it. You're always going to be all right, regardless of, what you, I'd say, get yourself into. But yeah. So it's time to wind down. So what would you want the people out here and the new listeners to know about you, Jess, and how they can find you and utilize your incredible services?
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Vanessa, for having me on the show today. For all of you new and old and prospective listeners, you can find me here at Mama Santi's house, as well as on my Square site, New Age Holistic Wellness .square site website. And I'm here to help you heal yourself and really come back home to yourself and help you understand that you have all the ability to heal and live your most authentic life. Not only that, collective, but we're in a huge pivotal shift for our own world right now, if you're following along geopolitically speaking. So right now, if you are being called to make a difference any way that you know how, please do it. Please find common union in your community, support your neighbor, look after one another, and really come to understand that the next new world where we're headed really requires us to make collaborative effort to really go in with great minds, great hearts, and lead a better tomorrow for the next generation to come. That's my message.
Amazing. Well, thank you. Thanks,
Jess.
The conclusion of our episode. Jess is amazing. You guys definitely go see her, utilize her practices, help yourself, heal yourself. Amy, what did you learn tonight?
I learned that I'm not perfect. No, I'm just kidding. I've known that forever. So that was nothing new for me. But no, that was very, very good advice. Thank you for taking the time to do that, Jess. That was actually fun.
No, the thing is, Amy, you are perfect, but you want somebody to tell you who that perfect guy is, what he looks like, what he drives, what is... I
was going to say, Amy, we're all perfect in the divine's eyes. We were made the way we are made, and that was on purpose. There's nothing wrong with anything. It's just you recognizing that. There's nothing imperfect about you at all. That's the message. That is actually what you're supposed to realize.
Well, I am going to take that to heart. So thank you both for confirming that. Yeah.
Girl, I'm still working on confirming it with myself, so I get it. I get it, but I do have to remind myself because I go, no.
I just paused this. For now on, no more readings on Bobby on Strange Darkness Radio. Maybe the After Dark series, we'll see. But anyways, that's it. Everyone, have a good night.
Night.
Bye.
As your journey through the shadow realms of Strange Darkness Radio concludes, remember that you unlock the door to the paranormal with the key of imagination. Beyond it lies another dimension, a dimension of eerie soundscapes, chilling sights, and the profound depths of the mind. You're venturing into a land of both haunting shadows and tangible substance, where the ethereal meets the corporeal, and ideas take on a spectral form. You've just crossed over into the Strange Darkness Radio Zone. In the vast expanse of the paranormal, there exists a fifth dimension, extending beyond the known realms of our understanding. It is a dimension vast as the cosmos and eternal as infinity, a mysterious terrain between the illumination of light and the depths of shadow. This is the middle ground between the empirical and the supernatural, where fears fester in the pit of humanity's soul and knowledge ascends to its zenith. Welcome to the dimension of imagination, an area we dub the Strange Darkness Radio Zone. As you conclude your journey with us, remember that you're departing this peculiar zone, a place where reality intertwines with the surreal. Be cautious as you step out, for you may find that the boundaries between the normal and the paranormal blur, leaving you forever in the lingering embrace of the unknown. Until next time, farewell from the depths of the Strange Darkness Radio Zone.